speaking about this idea of Torah observance, Shomer Mitzvot, we can also easily observe Paul's view of the law in Romans 3:31. Let's read this verse, quote, "Do we then overthrow the law by this faith? By no means. On the contrary, we uphold the law." I think that verse is self-explanatory. I don't even really have to make any comment on it. We do not overthrow the law. We uphold the law. And the faith, of course, that Paul's referencing is the faith that Jews and Gentiles enjoy as they walk in the footsteps of Messiah, as they understand their position in God through Messiah, as they walk by the Spirit, and as we fellowship one with another. This is the faith that we enjoin upon one another. This is the faith that we affirm is for Jews and Gentiles. And this faith does not destroy the law. On the contrary, Paul says, we uphold the law. Sounds pretty simple to me. We could also use Romans 7:22, I say in my commentary, quote, "This is Paul speaking, for I delight in the law of God in my inner being," end quote. Now, this is Paul speaking as a believer. How could he delight in the law of God in his inner being if the law has been done away with? If the law has been suppressed, if it's been relaxed, if it's been superseded by a law of Christ or superseded by the New Testament or something to that effect? Why would he delight in the law of God? And of course, we know the law that he's referring to, at the very least, includes the law of Moses, the law of God, right? First 5 books. Also, see Romans 7:25, a few short verses later, quote, "So then," Paul says, "I myself serve the law of God with my mind." It's kind of another way of saying I delight in the law of God in my inner being. He's talking about law being written on the inward parts of his being. "I serve the law of God with my mind, but with my flesh I serve the law of sin." Let's keep reading my commentary. What then did we learn concerning the believer's relationship to the law? Right? If I'm teaching, if my thesis is correct, if my hypothesis is correct, if my position is right that the law's not been done away with in Christ, then what is the believer's relationship to law? What came to an end in Messiah, I go on to say, is not the law itself, but the curse of the law for those in Messiah. And there's that Romans 8:1 passage, again, that reference there is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, as I'm quoting it from the KJV from memory. There's no condemnation. We are not under the curse of the law anymore. However, and this is a very careful distinction, this curse is still in effect for those outside of the Messiah. So it's not that the law came to an end when we became a believer, and it's not even that the curse of the law came to an end when we became a believer. Rather, those of us who were in Messiah had been set free from the curse. Rather, and those who are outside of Messiah are still under the curse. What also came to an end in Messiah, I go on to say in my commentary, was this wall of ethnic separation, the wall of religious separation that was erected, particularly in the first century, by the Jewish communities in Israel who were wishing to keep a religious separation between Gentiles and Jews. Let's keep reading my commentary. In Messiah, both Jews and Gentiles who embrace Yeshua, Jesus, as Lord, become one new mankind, or as some versions read, one new humanity, or some versions just simply say one new man. And it's this one new man, this Jew and Gentile, coming together under the banner of Messiah, under the collective designation known as Israel, under the label known as children of Abraham, right? They come together as, two becoming one. It's this unity that destroys the enmity. Make sense? It's the unity of Jew and Gentile in Messiah that tears down the walls of ethnic separation and ethnic pride that existed, that had been built up for centuries and had come to a head in the first few centuries before Yeshua, during the Maccabean revolts. These heated scuffles and battles between the Jewish communities and the increasing what we might call the Hellenistic influence all around them. Jews and Greeks, essentially, Jews and Gentiles, if you want to use that label. So it's that animosity from Jew to Gentile and from Gentile back to Jew, right? Over this supposed special privilege of being the people of God, or the fact that you're not part of the people. That's what came to an end. We don't need to destroy the Torah in order to unify the people. What does Paul say in Romans 3:31? Do we then overthrow the law by this faith? We could just insert the word as well. Do we then overthrow the law by this unity? Do we overthrow the law by this one new mankind? By no means. On the contrary, we uphold the law. I could insert the truth of Ephesians 2:11-22 back into Romans 3:31, and the verse still makes sense. So, as one new mankind, as I say in my commentary, as one new mankind, Jew and Gentile both comprise the remnant of Israel. The remnant of Israel is made up of Jew and Gentile in Messiah, and both Jew and Gentile inherit the blessings and promises of God, which includes the Torah given to Israel.